Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Eastside Freedom Library for our inaugural edition of Music Between the Stacks. This first concert, mini concert, uh, is featuring Emmett Doyle, and I will say a little bit more about him later. Um, but we've had a great night here so far at the library with one of our many great events. And we will have more of these. Watch our webpage calendar, sign up for our newsletter, watch us on social media. But we are really thrilled about this new series. Music Between the Stacks is brought to you by the Eastside Freedom Library, bringing you the local music artists by organizing, curating intimate concerts here in the library space. Through Music Between the Stacks, we're building a welcoming community space where community members can enjoy live music and support local artists. Um, of course, tonight we have Emmett Doyle. He is a union carpenter, a former river deckhand, and a lifelong music maker from Minnesota. Emmett draws deeply from Celtic and American folk roots with an ear toward global music connections, and he carries on the long memory of the working class movement, both in generations, old ballads and new songs springing from today's struggles. I could tell you a lot more about Emmett. He is a friend of the library. He has filled our space with words and conversation and music, and I am going to let his music and his words do the rest of the talking. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to our online audience. Welcome again to everyone who's here at the library. And but more than anything, welcome Emmett Doyle.
Something's brewing down below. A head of steam is gonna blow. The beans of wrath are heavy on the vine. There's no baristas at the bar. Starbucks bosses went too far. Now they're all out on the picket line. They tried to punish us with low staff. Now they found themselves with no staff. Starbucks bank account is bleeding green. The day will come so proud and solemn when those who pull the shots will call 'em. How we wake up and smell the beans. Howard Schultz, what a crook, he'd grind you down to make a buck. The grind is all the poor baristas know. The ULPs are off the chart, 'cause management shut off their hearts to trample on the workers down below. But up above us all I see is a corporate aristocracy, styling themselves as kings and queens. But what's come round is now returning with pitchforks and with torches burning. How we wake up and smell the beans. Coast to coast and dusk to dawn, the union just keeps rolling on. Without our work there's nothing you can sell. But as for this shop and our crew, we like our unions like our brews, fresh, hot, and strong as hell. So Howard Schultz, stop your whining. There's a contract to be signing, or else be author of your own demise. First you think you're playing hard, then you're hoisted by your own petard. You pound us down, but then like dough we rise. 'Cause every battle that we fight, we're getting closer to the night. We'll break these coffee chains and seize the means. The best part of us waking up is solidarity in our cups. How we wake up and smell the beans. I say every battle that we fight, we're getting closer to the night. We'll break these coffee chains and seize the means. The best part of us waking up is solidarity in our cup. So how we wake up, smell the beans. Well, thank you all for coming out tonight. And I want to thank all the panelists and all the workers who've done the organizing and the fighting behind everything that we talked about on the panel tonight. You know, we're talking about organizing these previously unorganized industries. They're largely retail and they're largely food service. And the thing that you run into over and over again is people claiming that this is unskilled labor. And you know, having worked one job that was non-union and was referred to by our bosses as unskilled labor, and another job that's, you know, very proudly skilled labor, I gotta say, it's usually a myth. You know, every job takes skill, every job has a component of craft and art in it. But generally, the work that we call unskilled labor is the work that we don't value. And it's often the work that's feminized, it's the work that's reproductive labor. Things like taking care of people, making food, all of this. And it's kind of always been that way, unfortunately, in the type of society we live in this industrial capitalism. And it was workers that did that kind of work that were some of the first ones to organize and to create the labor movement that we have. And this is a song that was popular among women textile workers, reminding us kind of what the labor movement is about. We go marching, marching in the beauty of the day. 1,000 darkened kitchens, 1,000 mill-lofts gray are touched with all the radiance that a sudden sun discloses. For the people hear us singing, bread and roses, bread and roses. As we go marching, marching, we battle to for men. They are women's children, and we mother them again. But our lives will not be sweated from birth until life closes. Hearts starve as well as bodies. Give us bread, but give us roses. As we go marching, marching, unnumbered women dead, go crying through our singing their ancient call for bread. Small art and love and beauty, their drudging spirits new. Yes, it is bread we fight for roses too. As we go marching, marching, we bring the greater days. Rising of the women raises up the human race. No more the drudge and the idler can that toil where one reposes, but a sharing of life's glories. Bread and roses, bread and roses. One of my first shows that I ever played in terms of labor stuff here in the Twin Cities was here at the East Side Freedom Library. It was the Joe Hill 100 Memorial Show. And I remember Ann Sweeney let me borrow the strap to her guitar, which, as you can see, I gave back. And it was a song that she played, I think, that day, and I certainly have heard her play it a number of times since then. That I always like it when the M&A is ever doing an action. I try to get in there and see if I can perform this somewhere. Oh, we're nursing as fast as we can. We're running with bandages and bedpans. The patients are sicker, the discharges are quicker, the reasons are slicker why we can't afford more nurses who are nursing as fast as we can. More cots in nursing our plan. Oh, the loads don't get lighter and the staffing is tighter and we're nursing as fast as we can. Your anxiety's legitimate, I'll grant. You've been admitted for a liver transplant. You see the nurses scurry, everybody's in a hurry. You've just begun to worry that we won't have time for you. Our time is limited, you must understand. We can't be right by you within our budget. Your insurance plan's so tight you can't even spend the night. We'll have to send you home to do the best you can. And meanwhile we're nursing as fast as we can. We're running with bandages and bedpans. The patients are sicker, the discharges are quicker, the reasons are slicker why we can't afford more nurses who are nursing as fast as we can. And more cots in nursing our plan. Oh, the reasons are obnoxious and the pacing is preposterous and we're working as fast as we can. I feel I must apologize to you. You missed your bed and had to lie in doo-doo. But you see, I was very busy, I was running in a tizzy, and I over-optimistically thought I'd get back to you, but I had 7 other patients too. And one of them was bleeding in his pillow. When priorities were reckoned, it was you came in second, and first was all that I had time to do. Oh, meanwhile, we're nursing as fast as we can. We're running with bandages and bedpans. The patients are sicker, the discharges are quicker, the reasons are slicker, and we can't afford more nurses who are nursing as fast as we can. And more cots in nursing our plan. Infections are spreading and mistakes we are dreading, and we're nursing as fast as we can. We worry for our patients, yes we do. They come to us much sicker than they used to. We know we need trained nurses, but the bosses watch their purses when it's patient safety versus profits. We know what they do. Nurses who are registered must go. They'll hire nurses' aides because it's cheaper. Though we know for patients' sake that this could be a grave mistake, it's a chance they'll take to save a little dough. And meanwhile we're nursing as fast as we can. We're running with bandages and bedpans. What's in them is stinking, just like the boss is thinking, as the standards are sinking and the risk we take are rising like the salaries of those at the top. This misallocation must stop. Our superfluous superiors sit upon their posteriors in the comfy interiors of their offices and lounges while we're nursing as fast as we can. We must find a way to demand that our patients won't be dying cause some corporation's trying to cut nursing as fast as they can. Single payers, still the only real plan. All right, do we have anyone from M&A here in the house tonight? No? Okay, well. That's probably because they're all, like, taking care of us and making sure we're not, like, dying. So give them a round of applause anyway. Yay to the M&A. Yeah. So, It's great to celebrate labor and our victories. Now, being a folk singer, of course, we can't always be happy. That's not our job. Sometimes we have to sing depressing things. We get to sing depressing things, or things about hard times. And I think it's important for us in the labor movement to learn as much from our mistakes and our defeats as from our victories. As you walk into the East Side Freedom Library, you see a picture over here, over there, showing some picketers confronting some National Guards people, and the sign says P9. That was the Hormel workers strike down in Austin, Minnesota in the mid-'80s. I know that was a formative political moment for some of my political mentors here in town, and I know that Peter here at the East Side Freedom Library was very, very deeply involved in supporting that strike. And unfortunately, that was one that, we lost. The workers lost that one. It was kind of the story in a lot of the 80s. And so I'm going to sing that one, and then I'm going to follow it up with one a little more recently, in a very similar kind of situation, but one where rank and file power kind of won out against both the caution of some union officials and against the company, and they won. So let's start out with P9. Came back to Austin after the war, been on the line since '74, working on the killing floor to make Hormel expand. Every year the line gets quicker, dollars cheaper, talk gets slicker, and some guys numb themselves with liquor, learn not to give a damn. Hormel says they're always squeezing, the contract's not a charity, they're paying half your wage, the IBD, and we're steady losing ground. They want cuts of the bureaucrats, dump it on the new hires' backs. I know we'll give your plant the sack and gut this company town. Hard knocks on the killing floor taught us how to swing and win beat, even when we're beaten down. Best not pull your punches when you're coming for the king and you're fighting for your life in a company town. New plant was a slaughterhouse for the pigs and workers both, and the contract gave us no way out, but it hit them in the papers. Put their dirty flows of cash in the magnifying glass until the contract day was passed and we took back our labor. On the day we crossed their line, they moved the slaughter and assigned the other locals overtime to scab against their brothers. If we let them do it, then they've won. Gotta shut it down as one, but National said we'd go alone. We're calling in the others. Hard knocks on the killing floor taught us how to swing and we ain't beat, even when we're beaten down. Best not pull your punches when you're coming for the king and you're fighting for your life in a company town. When they brought the scabs that winter day, we blocked them at the factory gate, and it took more cops to clear the way than they had in the whole station. So Perpich played his favorite card, calling in the National Guard, and you have to fight back twice as hard when you're under occupation. So we hit the road and we spread the strain up and down the Hormel chain, and other towns joined the campaign, even if it meant the blacklist. Strikes a race to see who will last between your belly and the boss's cash, but the checks came in for food and gas to get the kids their breakfast. Hard knocks on the killing floor taught us how to swing and we ain't beat, even when we're beaten down. Best not pull your punches when you're coming for the king and you're fighting for your life in a company town. March stormed in with a picket clash. The Austin streets were choked in gas, but the cops, soldiers couldn't smash the spirit of P9. But the National Union bent the knee to get peace with the company, and they put the local into trusteeship to bust our picket line. Put the scabs in the Union Hall, even stripped our murals off the wall. But when the end of the strike was called, sold out a generation. Now old King Pork still wears the crown. keep the packing workers down, and it's hard times in a company town, hard times in a boss's nation. Hard knocks on the killing floor taught us how to swing and win beat, even when we're beaten down. Best not pull your punches when you're coming for the king and you're fighting for your life in a company town. Hard knocks on the killing floor taught us how to swing and win beat, even when we're beaten down. Best not pull your punches when you're coming for the king and you're fighting for your life in a company town. Dawn out on the picket in the morning light, the headlights from the scabs come hauling into sight. Damn their injunctions, damn their jails and fines, whatever it takes, we'll hold the line. All across the grain belt we're striking at John Deere. They split our contracts up into first and second tiers. But my father walked the line with me, and I'll walk it with my son to get unity before the strike is won. There are those on top of the world, there are those who build it down below. Time comes for us to be rising, time comes to reap what you sow. So keep your hand on the plow, hold the line, don't give up now. We planted our seeds, now we're watching them grow. It's a tale as old as time, it's heartless and it's cruel. Split them up into the tiers, it's the old divide and rule. It's pulling up the ladder on the workers still to come, and it's pulling down the strength that we have won. But a union's not a monument you carve into the rock, it's a legacy of water, what withers on the stalk. And our power's not in boardrooms, in ballots or the courts, it's in action when we cut production short. There are those on top of the world, there are those who build it down below. Time comes for us to be rising, time comes to reap what you sow. So keep your hand on the plow, hold the line, don't give up now. We planted our seeds, now we're watching them grow. God bless you, Dick Rick, your memory lives on. Killed out on the picket that morning in Milan. A car came streaming up the street, it hit you in its sights, and you died fighting for our rights. You gave your life for the workers, for your people and mine, and for those families toiling generations on the line. Now you're in the space between us, and your spirit's in our hands when we fight, when the union takes a stand. There are those on top of the world, there are those who build it down below. Time comes for us to be rising, time comes to reap what you sow. So keep your hand on the plow, hold the line, don't give up now. We planted our seeds, now we're watching them grow. A month out on the line, we held that picket strong, till the scabs from middle management couldn't carry on. For all our working lives, they brought us to our knees, till we stood on those lines in unity. So whenever any worker is under an attack, you've a brother at your side and a sister at your back. An injury to one is an injury to all, so we'll either stand together or we'll fall. There are those on top of the world. There are those who build it down below. Time comes for us to be rising. Time comes to reap what you sow. So keep your hand on the plow. Hold the line, don't give up now. We planted our seeds, now we're watching them grow. So keep your hand on the plow. Hold the line, don't give up now. We planted our seeds, now we're watching them grow. Now that obviously was a song about the John Deere strike that just took place in Striketober. That was, when was it, late 2021, was that? Hopefully a turning point for a working class movement that's faced decades now of retreats and defeats. I think we're finally starting to learn to fight back effectively. Going to take breaking a lot more laws to do it, but we'll find a way. I do realize, it is a little one-sided of me to only sing songs about the labor side of the equation, because capital is important too. I think we can all agree that, in terms of shaping and disciplining our lives, the force of capital hanging above our heads like the sword of Damocles is always, it's fantastic. And speaking of things hanging above our heads, the other year I was looking up into the sky and I saw a giant phallic representation of the power of the wealthy floating into space with Jeff Bezos in it, which is hilarious because he kind of also looks as a person like the spacecraft that he was in. And I thought, God, that's the most interesting use of my surplus value that I've ever seen. Really, you have to admire the stuff that the wealthy build with all the wealth that we create for them. So anyway, I thought it was lovely that the billionaires were going to space. I think that's a good idea for them. Pity about them coming back. But I wrote a song to encourage them to just, keep doing that, so. Oh, high above the world there's a $1 billion race. Oh, tooraloo-raloo-raloo-raloo, to see which robber baron will be first to buy the space. Oh, tooraloo-raloo-raloo-raloo. We've gone beyond electric cars. There's 3 more dicks among the stars. They ought to be the first on Mars, it's true. But when they reach the Hellas Basin, cut the line back to the station. Let them stay on their vacation, tooraloo. Well, Bronson rode to blast off on a silo's worth of oil. Tooraloo-raloo-raloo-raloo, just to get a better picture of our world as it broils. Tooraloo-raloo-raloo-raloo. Some malcontents might drive a wedge and ask what happened to his pledge to rid us of the fuel that is our doom. Although it's slow and bearing fruit, he's got the issue by the root. He'll do it by reducing it to fumes. And Bezos had a vision as he floated in the stars. Tooraloo-raloo-raloo-raloo, and he thanks all of you peasants who have paved his way this far. Tooraloo-raloo-raloo-raloo, for he's witnessed the solution to industrial pollution. We'll move all the production to the moon. But Amazonians united will appear there uninvited to incite the lunar commune. Tooraloo. And Musk has got a blueprint for a special Martian vault. Oh, tooraloo-raloo-raloo-raloo, just to build his Teslas somewhere that the unions cannot assault. Oh, tooraloo-raloo-raloo-raloo, but since he's heard that Mars is red, he's filled the rocket full of lead. He'll kill them commies all dead, white, and blue. If he goes and we don't mind, let him work an asteroid mine. Just leave our lithium behind, tooraloo. The state took these men's taxes like they robbed from me and you. Tooraloo-raloo-raloo-raloo, we could end the damn pandemic and explore the cosmos too. Tooraloo-raloo-raloo-raloo, But since the space race privatized, we've been forced to economize. A rocket to the sun we cannot do. If they want to be an astronaut, the only flight plans that we've got are gelignite propulsion to release. Well, as much as I love dreaming of, the rockets doing as rockets may do, and giving us another version of the Icarus myth. Unfortunately, more terrestrial sort of missile is in the regular everyday arsenal of the capitalist class in this country. And unfortunately, people of East Palestine, Ohio, have recently suffered that. It was not a new problem or a new danger. It was not something that appeared as a threat to workers yesterday. It's been a threat to us for a long time. The inadequate safety on the rails, the inadequate staffing, the way in which the railroad companies, the carriers, keep trying to bust down workers year after year after year. We know, of course, that it was the Biden administration that crushed the railroad strike, and we know that it was the Trump administration that stripped away the braking regulations that could have prevented that accident. And it's not only in America, it's across the Western world. These carriers keep on chiseling down any sort of safety standard. So this is a song that I wrote right after the Lac-Mégantic derailment in 2013, which killed 47 people in a small town in Quebec. And this is a song that myself and my band, the Wooden Shoe Ramblers, we recorded on our first album. So our first show was for the legal defense benefit for the workers that were being railroaded, pun intended, to blame for that terrible accident, even though they did everything in their power, heroically pulling oil cars out of the fire to attempt to save people. The railroad company refused to take responsibility and tried to blame it on the workers instead, as they always do. It's one more way in which worker demands can be demands not only for ourselves on the job, but for the entire community around us and for our safety, for the planet we're living on. And with that in mind, I do want to encourage people to check out the work being done by the MFT and other unions fighting the Herc trash incinerator in Minneapolis and demanding a just way of getting rid of the trash, because burning it is not actually getting rid of it, it's just transferring it into people's lungs. And it's the lungs of the poor, the lungs of working class communities of color around the city. My friend and bandmate Jessica Garraway has been very active in that fight. You should check out her music as well. That oil train is 2 miles long, coming down the track. Its wheels are pitted iron, and its barrels long and black. Those barrel cars are long as night, blacker than the crow. Riding from Alberta to the Gulf of Mexico. Looks we'll be here for a while, and that's nothing new. 'Cause the North Star line is always stalled when the oil train comes through. It's been that way these past few years, ever since the boom began. Riding from the Bakken Shale and the Athabasca sand. I heard there was an accident in a line out in Quebec. In the town of Lac-Mégantic was an oil hauler wreck. They said it came in without warning in the small hours of the night. They were screaming on the rails and the air was full of light. Old cars was on old tracks, just one conductor on the shift. The MMA had cut its costs, it was in the name of thrift. He switched off the job in Long with an engine fire to kill. Those brakes gave out past midnight, she came rolling down the hill. And down in Lac-Megantic at the new music cafe, people crowded in to hear both Duke and Rickard play. They were singing to the old chanson de vie et le monde, without thinking on those railroad tracks that ran outside the door. They were moving fast and faster down the main line in the night. Wheels were spitting fire, wheels were smoking white, and the ground shook like an avalanche when she hit the bend downtown. Well, that sky was raining fire when the oil train came down. The sun was rising red over the black and the bloody smoke. The ground was still burning where the oil train had broke. For 47 dead and gone, they'd ring the chapel bell. When she rode like a pale horseman, what followed her was hell. That oil train's 2 miles long, coming down the track. Its wheels of pitted iron, its barrels long and black. Its barrel cars are long as night, blacker than the crow. Riding from Alberta to the Gulf of Mexico. Right through here's where they go. Right through here's where they go. Thank you. I've just got one more song for you here tonight, and it's one you can all sing along to. Before I go, I want to thank the Eastside Freedom Library for hosting me. Not the first important thing the Eastside Freedom Library has hosted for me, actually. Actually, my wife and I got married here at the library, so thank you, Eastside Freedom Library, for existing and doing all you do. Thank you to all the organizers again, everyone out there, and thank you to all the working people who's just unpaid, well, not unpaid, well, sometimes unpaid, and paid labor, unsung sacrifices are keeping this world together. And remember that we have the power to remake the world just as easily as we make it. So let's get together and figure out how to do that. I think this is a song that many people here know, so when the unions, I'm gonna capo that up actually. All right. When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? For the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. Is there aught we hold in common with the greedy parasite who would lash us into serfdom and would crush us with his might? Is there anything left for us but to organize and fight when the union makes us strong? Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever, for the Union makes us strong. It is we who plowed the prairies, built the cities where they trade, dug the mines and built the workshops, endless miles of railroad laid. Now we stand outcast and starving midst the wonders we have made, but the Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the Union makes us strong. All this world that's owned by idle drones is ours and ours alone. We have laid the wide foundations, built it skyward stone by stone. It is ours not to slave in, but to master and to own, when the Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the Union makes us strong. In our hands is placed a power greater than their hoarded gold, greater than the might of armies magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth a new world from the ashes of the old, when the Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the Union makes us strong. Thank you very much. Go forth, organize, and take the future in your hands. Thank you.